Welcome back, everyone. This is the Bourbon Judge. Happy Sunday. For me, I am very relaxed. Just got back from vacation with the family. We went up to Vermont. Such a cool place. Nice, just a beautiful mountainous setting. Very cool, very chill. If you ever have a chance to get up to Vermont, and if you haven't been there before, please definitely check it out. Went to a little small town called Stowe. Beautiful area. All right, so I'm back and I'm ready to sit some good bourbon with my friends. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what are we reviewing today? So we're gonna go ahead and review Old Forester Bottled in Bond. So what I like about Old Forester is that, if you recall, a while ago, I think it was actually last year, episode 26, link up above, I reviewed Old Forester, and I gave a ton of facts about Old Forester. So please check out the previous review about a lot of history about Old Forester. But I reviewed 1910 and the 1920, right? So they're two different subtypes, if you will, right? So 1910, very like creamy oak based, if you will, very soft. There's only like 93 proof. And then 1920 is more of a just smack you right in your face. I'm here to stay. Tons of like burnt caramel, brown sugar, a little bit of some cherries in there as well, right? Very robust bourbon, right? So for me, whenever I'm walking into a liquor store and I'm thinking about like a bottled in bond, right? And I know Old Forester, I like 1910 and 1920 both in different ways, but I'm thinking to myself, how good is this one, right? Right? So from a price standpoint, first and foremost, $50, so not bad, right there with other bottled in bond expressions. And relatively easy to find, meaning that you go to like 2 or 3 different liquor stores and you're going to find Old Forester Bottled in Bond for the most part, right? Again, you may have to get out there a little bit, but you're going to find it. But when I look at Old Forester, right, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how does it compare to some of the other bottled and bond expressions that are out there, right, for other companies? When I think of other ones, you have E.H. Teller, small batch. Let's put that one over there. You have Henry McKenna as well, bottled in bond. These are both all bottled in bond expressions, right? Also very solid. You have Heaven Hill's own branded bottled in bond expression. And last but not least, I mean, there's a lot out there, right? I'm just giving you a couple different examples. Let's keep it real. Wilderness Trail, right? Also another solid bottled in bond expression, right? So those are all different bottled in bond expressions that I've had before. I like all of those. So when I'm in the liquor store, I'm just telling you what goes through my mind to kind of help you understand like what I'm trying to decide on what I should share with you guys. I'm thinking, how does this bad boy compare to those, right? Honestly. And again, just because I like 1910 and 1920 does not mean I'm going to like their bottled in bond version. Short, quick, easy example. The best one that always stands out to me is last year from High West Distillery. I reviewed the Yippee-Ki-Yay and I thought it was horrible. And guess what? It's actually being discontinued. Yes. However, I can't remember if it was Cleveland Kid or Carino or K Banks, somebody out there, one of our lovely reviewers out there, maybe even Andre Toms, said, hey, Bourbon Judge, check out High West Distillery's Midwinter's Nice Dram, and I guarantee you'll love it. And I tried it, $80, and I loved it. So, right, complete difference, right? So I don't know. Let's see how this one is. But I've talked a lot. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So again, $50, easy to find for the most part. Beautiful color. Again, what I love about Old Forester is that for the most part, 1910 and 1920, both have been very solid. So I'm hoping the bottled in bond version is right there with it. All right, nice color, very nice. All right, let's get into the nose. So what I like about this one, I poured it earlier. I was just kind of smelling it a little bit earlier as well. It honestly, to me, it's like a blend of 1910 and 1920, right? Literally put them together. And I'm not just saying that because of the proof standpoint, because it's right there in the middle at 100 proof. So your normal bottled in bond standard, right? Age at least 4 years, 100 proof, government controlled warehouse, and all the actual distilled products from that calendar year. But to me, honestly, from a nose standpoint, I pick up a lot of what I smelled in both the 1910 and 1920. I get the cherries, the burnt orange caramel, and the oak from the 1920. And I get the oat, that sweetness from the 1910. Well, From me to you, cheers, my friends. So, that was very interesting. Hold on, before I give you a final judgment, I gotta finish this real quick. That's really good. Everything transfers from the nose to the palate. But here's one thing that's unique. This bottled bond actually has a bit of almost like a chocolate taste to it, right? From a palate standpoint, it's long, it's a smooth finish, but it has a chocolate taste to it at the end. So, as they always say, bourbon judge, keep it real. Just give me an honest verdict. The verdict is in. Before I tell you, we're going to change up a little bit. I'm going to give you a verdict, but I'm also going to compare this one to one of the other bottled bonds. So the verdict is in. This definitely is a buy. Very solid product at $50. Old Forester, you can count on Old Forester day in, day out, right? I think of Old Forester is a product like when you're traveling, right? You maybe go to visit family members. You typically can't bring liquor with you when you're traveling, but you want to go to your local liquor store or at least near your family member's house, right? For Thanksgiving, right? And you want to find a bottle that you can just bring in. You know what? I'm going to enjoy this bottle and I'm going to enjoy it with my family and maybe some of my friends that come over for some grub, right? This is the bottle you can count on. And that's what I love about it. But you know what? We always talk about other bourbons. Let's compare it real quick to one other one. All right, drum roll, please. All right. Bourbon Judge has decided we're going to go with Heaven Hill's Bottled Bond. All right. So normally, I always believe in changing it up a little bit and always using a different glass. If I'm sampling different bourbon, I want to use a different glass. And I'm going to do that. Let me grab one real quick. We're going to use this Whistle Pig glass for the lovely Heaven Hill Bottled Bond. So, short, funny story for you. My boys, my buddy Brian, Jamal, and Rodney, we get together once a month for bourbon and cigars. And every time we do different bourbon at my house, they know I'm a stickler. If we're sampling different bourbons, you have to have a separate glass. There's no sharing of the same glass. That does not happen in the Bourbon Judge house. It's just something that we do. They always laugh with me and say, we could just use the same glass and just rinse it out. We're not doing that. Different glasses for different bourbons. I want to be given honest, fair judgment. Part 2, to see how does Old Forester stack up. And I will say, I reviewed this one as well previously, and it was also a buy. So let's see which one is better. Who knows? All right. So we'll start with Old Forester because we started there. We'll finish that. I'm going to pour it a little bit more just because I really enjoy it. Oh. Old Forester is just so creamy, so rich, so just full flavor, full bodied. All of that burnt caramel, the brown sugars, a little bit of the cherries, not a ton of the cherries, but a little bit from the fruit palate standpoint. And then with that chocolate, a little bit of an expression, just so damn good. I'm impressed. I really am, Old Forester. Shout out to you. All right. Now let's move over to Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill makes some phenomenal products, right? They really do. They really do. And this one also was a buy from a previous episode I reviewed. Similar color from the nose. So this one, I'm getting more softer, like a sweeter oak kind of a expression. Not as bold in the nose as that one. More softer oat. Some a little bit of like it's interesting. Almost like a licorice smell in a way. It's odd. Okay. Cheers to Heaven Hill. The rye in the palate on the Heaven Hill stands out. Even though it's normal, traditional bourbon, bottled and bond. However much rye they put into this, definitely stands out in the palate. More spicier a little bit on the finish, and a bit more like just grainy, earthy. Let me get a little bit more just to compare. Okay. All right. So both solid products. The question is, which one is better? Judgment for the plaintiff. Old Forester Bottled and Bond is just way better than Heaven Hills. Both great products. This is just overall, in my opinion, a phenomenal product, right? Very creamy, very flavorful, great profiles, traditional bourbon flavors, the caramel, the brown sugar, a little bit of like the orange, burnt orange as well. Phenomenal. This one was really, really good, but it was just a little bit more subdued, right? The finish was there, but it wasn't phenomenal. It was just good. This is really damn good. Well, folks, as we always say, thank you, thank you, thank you. From me to you, I appreciate you guys and gals out there. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll talk to you soon. And if you haven't done thus far, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace out. Later.